Good morning, people. Hello and welcome to another vlog episode of the India Darshan travel series. So I'm out in the market. I already started getting towards my first destination for the day. So we are in Junagadh. It's time to explore Junagadh, and the first thing I want to do is go one of the highest hills, which is the Girnar hill, and it has, I think, 2 or 3 different temples along the way. So we're gonna do part of it through a ropeway, part of it through trekking, heat permitting. And I'm headed there, and I'm crossing a market street, and as you can see, most of the market is currently closed. It's because it's election day. A lot of people, if you're local from the city and if you have the relevant documentation, they are going out to vote. So if you have the right to vote, do vote. We're gonna continue onwards to the journey and head to the ropeway station so that we can hop on and enjoy the views. So let's get started. So that's the majestic entry gate, and behind the mountain that you're seeing, that's the Girnar hill. Kind of hard to see the entire thing from here, but I can start to see some temples along the way. Okay, maybe now in the shade it's a bit easier to see. So all the way up top I can see the wires for the ropeway, and the way this works is like it takes you halfway through and then you have to go up and down the mountain yourself for the rest of it. So let's see. Because it's a very high altitude ropeway, sometimes they also had to shut it off if the winds are very strong and whatnot. So let's see what's in our luck today. ये क्या फल है भैया?
आइस एप्पल बोलते हैं।
ताड़ फल। इसको क्या खाते हैं, पीते हैं, क्या खाते हैं?
आइस एप्पल भी बोलते हैं।
आइस एप्पल। अच्छा,
एक में से 3 पीस आए।
अच्छा। So that fruit was a unique fruit. It's called ice apple. I think I've seen it when I was in IIT Madras campus. Never got to try that there. And we are at the ropeway now. There are a lot of langurs around here. So park my two-wheeler a little bit further away from it. Let's go grab ourselves a ticket. I see the ropeway moving. So this is the ticket counter. This is the entire area map. I think with the first ropeway, I think the ropeway brings us here, and then we have to go up and down everywhere. So because of the windy conditions, sometimes they have to close off the ropeway, so they're not giving a return trip this time. So it's 400 rupees to go up and 230 to come down. So 630 in total if you were to get a return ticket. But they've been kind enough to adjust the pricing accordingly. Otherwise would have been 800 if you take like independent tickets. So let's get there and wait for our ropeway to go up. They have set up some entertainment area as well because of the families, but yeah, seems like it's working fine. So at least let's get to go up, and if it doesn't work on the way down, we just climb down 10,000 steps. Not a big deal. I think it's 9,999 steps to be precise, but we'll figure something out. Interesting name of the ropeway. It's called Uran Khatola, which actually is something that we refer to for a helicopter. So let's go get flying then. Love the massive air-conditioned waiting hall. Oh, that's the way to get there. So if I get lucky and nobody shows up, I get to take this entire car for myself. So let's see if I get lucky this time. My guard bhaiya was very kind. We cracked a deal. If anybody shows up to run into my car, we're gonna show them the food counters and get them distracted so that I can go alone. And I have the entire cable car to myself. So this is gonna be fun. Down there are the steps that people take. So some people even climb all the way up. So I was chatting with a few locals yesterday, and they normally do this in the evening or night hours when it's nice and cool because they live here. And because this is a forested area, so sometimes even the lion comes up in the middle of the trek. So it's up to them if they feel comfortable doing something like that. But for us that come from outside that have limited time, we take this ropeway route at least halfway point. It's actually 60%. So there are 9,999 steps. This takes you about 6,000 steps are covered through the ropeway. As you can see, it's that's the staircase going up from there, and we are going a very steep incline all the way up to there. So about 50-60% distance is covered, and the good thing is like okay, going and coming. So hopefully if it doesn't get too windy, so that part is covered and you can save some time, and then you can trek around for the rest. So let's see how long it takes and what are the views like and what's the conditions like up there. Not gonna push too hard to do the entirety of it, but if I can, would be really cool to get to the highest point. I think Guru Dattatreya Mandir is at the highest point. Then there would be one or two more temples along the way, but we should get really good views today. So in about 7 or 8 minutes, I think we made it to the top of the ropeway station. Now we start walking around, so let's prepare ourselves for the trekking part. Yeah, I think this was the Jain temple that we were seeing from the cable car. Jain Derasar is at 3200 feet. We are now at 3330 feet, and maybe, oh yeah, Guru Dattatreya temple on the other hill is 3295. So we're pretty high up. Nice views from up here. That I think is the porter service for people with disabilities or who are unable to climb the stairs all the way. Looks pretty demanding. But that's the temple. That's the city down there. A couple of other mountains surrounding, so really nice views from up here. So that's the Ambe Mata temple, and I think the rest of the trek continues behind. So let's go inside, because the temples also close in the afternoon. So I don't want to miss out on some of the temples while I'm here. We'll go here and then we continue hiking further. They have some snack shops along the way next to the Mata temple. I think once you start climbing further, there would be nothing ahead. That's why they're selling water, sticks for support for the hiking, etc. So they keep saying, want something, now is the chance to grab it. But oh yeah, the second temple is up there. The third might be behind it because I don't see the last temple. Oh yeah, here, it's there. There. So we have to go down and then further up to the last hill. There's a big ass chameleon here. I was just going there to see the view of the rooftop. But anyway, let's continue hiking. There's nothing special there. Let the chameleon enjoy the sun tanning in peace. Okay, the fun ends. Time to start trekking. Doesn't look super bad, but we'll know once we get up there because it's then going down, then going back, and then reverse all the way back to the cable car. But for now, the cool thing is the steps are not super high, so it's manageable. Oh, there's a nice lake down there as well, right in the middle over there. It's really cool. A little bit misty, but it's nice. The wind here is really cool and the sun here is really hot, so all in all, like a nice cool mixture for you to enjoy the nice trek. Just crossed temple number 2 is there where the people are seated. There's also an outdoor small temple, Guru Gorakhnath and Kal Bhairav temple. Now, that's the last temple perhaps where we are headed, was somewhere along that direction. Let's see how far we get. 2 hills done, 1 more to go. For the last temple, we are descending quite deep down into the valley. Pretty sure these are a couple thousand steps down there. So climbing all the way back up is where the actual cardio begins. So far it's been a fun ride. I was already high up, climbed a small hill, so not a big deal, and then climbed down, so still not a big deal. But you see, climb all the way back up to the hill to go back. But for now, let's enjoy the views. So on this way up the hill, there is the footwear of Guru Dattatreya, and then on the other side there is this Kamandal Kund. So let's go up first, go to the temple, because if there is a priest in there, I want to ask what's the difference between the footwear here and the one that they have in Guru Shikhar that I did in Mount Abu. Was the similar thing perhaps, but maybe Guru Dattatreya was at both places at different points in time. So let's go learn more about this place. So finally made it to the highest point. This is the summit of the Girnar Hills. Made it to the Guru Dattatreya temple. They also have the footwear here. Got some moments with the priest and I asked him, and he said this is indeed same temple, 2 names in 2 places, both the highest hills of the respective places. Guru Dattatreya came here first, so this was like the originally built, and then after that he went to Guru Shikhar in Mount Abu that I hiked last time. So thanks to him, I managed to hike 2 of the highest hills of the respective areas. That was the highest of the Aravali's, and this is the highest of Gujarat. Mission accomplished. Now we go down, and it's gonna get very, very hot now because it's past 12 noon. The sun is directly up ahead, but we're gonna go down, go to the Kund first, and then climb back up and start heading back to the ropeway. So down here at the Kamandal Kund, you have a small temple, a mini shivling at the entrance on the floor, and a dining hall. So you get prasad here. It was very delicious, nice and simple. Dokla, curry and halwa. Had that, so got the blessings from the temple. Now begins the climb up until the second temple that we were at, and then from there it's all downhill. So let's start climbing nice and slow. Alright, so at 1:20 p.m. we've made it back to the Gorakhnath temple. That's the temple behind me. That's the Datta temple. We went all the way up to the summit, came down, went to the hall, dining hall, climbed all the way back up. Last bit of trek, and I think from there it's all downhill. So I'll let you know once I'm at the boarding area. So far we've done 6,100 steps and counting. So So finally, after 7,500 steps, we've made it back to the Ambaji temple. This is where the ropeway starts from. That's the ropeway boarding station. So I'm gonna go there and try and figure out if the ropeway seems to be running, so it should be okay. So we're gonna take the return ropeway down. So while I was at the dining hall, I spoke to the priest about the pricing of the ropeway. So it turns out only if you take the one way up and one way down, that's when you get 400 and 230 kind of discounted price for 630. If you either take only one way up or only one way down, it's a full price of 400. So you can't like climb the stairs up and think you can go down in just 230 rupees. It would be, the first ticket would always be for 400. So just a little bit of clarification for that. And if you're climbing up the stairs, you can go to that another Jain temple there that I showed you. Otherwise the rope is just going to bypass it. You're going to see it from a distance and land up at the base station. So I'm going to bypass that, land up at the base station. There's a water station here, so I'm going to drink some water, grab my return ticket. And it was about 7,500 steps up until here, plus a little bit more all the way to the Activa. So more or less about 8,000 steps with the ropeway. So that was a nice intense trek all the way. Despite the busted knee, I was taking it nice and slow. Started around 10ish in the morning with the ropeway. No waiting time for the ropeway tickets. Now it's 1:30. Probably by the time we get to the base would be around 2 p.m. So just so that you can get a rough idea of the time it takes to do this trek. Nice. So on the way down also got myself a solo cabin. So yeah, that's the Jain temple that you see along the way. And because now I'm completely sweaty, this breeze is like a blessing. So since we are pretty high up on the altitude, there's no network, so I don't know what's the final height of this place, but it's the highest mountain I think in all of Gujarat. So you get a very good bird's eye view of the entire place. Even the valley of Junagadh, so you see the city from a distance. There's also a lake in the distance. I don't know the name of it. As I said, there's no network up there, so I couldn't really check the maps. But if anybody knows what's the name of that place, do let me know in the comments below. And one more thing that I think I forgot to mention in the vlog in the beginning. So when you come here on the way, you're going to pass by the entrance to the Willingdon Dam. So if you finish or happen to finish this trek somewhere around sunset time, you could do that along the way, you know, to do this and then enjoy a sunset at the Willingdon Dam. But I did that yesterday already, so now I'm enjoying a nice and peaceful ride on the way down. Got to love these Jain temples. Their architecture is so beautiful, and even the deities inside, they have such intricate carvings that they are like very mesmerizing. Unfortunately, none of these temples allow any photography for obvious reasons, just like most of the temples, but look at the majestic architecture. Alright, finally back in civilization. That's the exit gate right next to where we went in from. So it's interesting how you walk out of the gondola or the cable car straight into the souvenir shop area. There's like a cafeteria, souvenir shops, you can get prasads and stuff. But it's an interesting concept. Like prasad is supposed to be voluntary and donation based, but here they charge you for it. So they're like giving away a box of prasad for 150 rupees or something. So that's something if you want to purchase, you can, because this is a holy mountain. So that's kind of like the concept here. Anyway, gonna end this vlog here. Had an epic darshan of 3 temples in the same trek. I think I've never had a chance to do something like that before. So that was a very unique experience. And the second Datta temple in the same trip. So that's also like very, very unique. So gonna end this vlog here. It's 1:50 p.m. We've done, let's say, 7,800 steps already, and now we're gonna go back to the hotel and hide from the sunshine. Lunch is done up there already at the Kund, so I'm all sorted for the half of the day at least. We're gonna rest up and see you again in another vlog. This is the Rustic Wanderer signing off. See you again the next time.